You are Locked On Celtics POSTCAST, part of Locked On Sports Boston, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, as Celtics fans, you got exactly what you expected on Friday and wanted against the Phoenix Suns, and certainly the case against the Washington Wizards on Sunday as well. It was a blowout victory, but again, no Jayson Tatum, no Kristaps Porzingis, and with that, bench players, just an all-around great effort against a team that just is now 17-61 on the season. No sugarcoating it. The Washington Wizards are a bad team. Welcome into our latest Locked On Celtics postcast. I'm Steve Lennox, longtime college basketball play-by-play announcer, former show host, satellite radio, ESPN radio. You know that by now. Once interviewed former Celtics player Donnie Nelson when he was the head coach of the New York Knicks, and one of us, it wasn't me, was enjoying an ice-cold one during that conversation. You are locked on with the latest Locked On Celtics postcast, providing reaction to every Celtics game on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel, as well as the Locked On Celtics podcast feed. You know the Locked On Celtics podcast, free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And wherever you get that podcast, make sure you follow it. Make sure you give us the best rating possible as well. And don't forget to tell your friends all about us, as we are now less than, 2+ weeks away from the first round of the NBA playoffs. With our latest Locked On Celtics postcast, we're going to discuss the final 4 games of the regular season, but the blowout win. Team effort. Baylor Shireman doing a terrific job diving for loose balls when it was a blowout in the fourth quarter. Torrey Craig on the floor in the first quarter, playing like his hair was on fire. Not playing a lot of minutes and signing with the Celtics, but again, I do think Torrey Craig has some game in the NBA playoffs where he has a huge contribution to a Celtics victory. We don't want to hear from you, our everydayers and our first-timers. Join the conversation watching live on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel. Hit the comment button. Don't be afraid. Join the conversation. Hey, hit me up on X at Lennox on Hoops. This episode of the Locked On Celtics postcast presented by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $250 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. Celtics, hey, opened up the game. White a 3, Kornet a bucket inside the three-point line, Holiday a 3. Celtics scoring the first 8 points of the game. And if I wasn't doing, I've said this before, if I wasn't doing the Locked On Celtics postcast, turn the TV off, watch game 2 of the Sox-Cardinals doubleheader from Fenway on ESPN. Instead, we stick with it, right? And it was a fun game to watch because it's just the kind of effort that you expect, even without 2 of your top players, Jayson Tatum, KP, Kristaps Porzingis, on Sunday night. Celtics, again, 8 in a row to open up. Trailed from beginning to end, scoring 10 of the first 13 points of the game against the Washington Wizards. And what do you take away from this game?
This is what you'll be talking about.
Your comments in just a moment on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel. But again, a complete team effort. 7 players in double figures. And again, it was over in the first quarter. It really was. I was listening to Brian Scalabrine a lot on the Washington Wizards, first NBC Sports Boston reference of the night with Drew Carter. And he likes a lot of their players individually, but they're still far away. They've got 2 19-year-olds in the starting lineup. In the fourth quarter, you heard chants at the TD Garden of "We want Marcus," meaning former Celtic Marcus Smart. Did not play in the game. 9 players ruled out for Washington. You just knew Friday night Suns, no Kevin Durant. Devin Booker went off. Still, Celtics win a lopsided affair. The same against the Washington Wizards. Celtics winning by 20 in their first meeting of the season, won by 12 in their second, won by 14 back in December against Washington, win by 34 on Sunday night. Holiday, White, Horford, Kornet, Brown in the starting lineup together. That 5 for the first time this season. Joe Mazzulla, 31 starting lineups on the year. Kornet and Horford have started as the double bigs before, but not with Brown up there. It's been Brown out of the lineup and Tatum in the lineup. So there's that difference in the starting lineup. But this is what I want to talk about. And I've made this abundantly clear throughout the course of the season. In a lot of ways, the last couple of years in the NBA championship team from the 23-24 season better than I do. But is Joe Mazzulla, has he turned in the best coaching performance of his tenure as the Celtics head coach with this season, with this team? A great regular season. Mixed and matched, injuries, worked around. Tonight was a good example. Could Tatum, if Porzingis played, you'd have to say absolutely. But you keep him out of the lineup. When you see Tatum with the sprained ankle, and he was back 2 games later after spraining the ankle on that 6-0 road trip, and he missed just 1 game, and that was the Phoenix game, and then won by 30 in Phoenix. Sprained ankle on the injury report. Didn't play. Give him a rest. This is where you can in the final 4 games of the regular season. Almost 3 minutes off the clock in the second quarter, Washington did not score. White knocked down a 3 in that second quarter to make it 41-23, and again, it was just lopsided. The Celtics had a 19-0 run. A 19-0 run in the third quarter. And Drew Carter, Brian Scalabrine said throughout, you saw it Friday with a veteran-laden team in the Phoenix Suns. Laid down, playing out the stretch, see if they make the play-in tournament. See if they catch magic and all of a sudden become inspired to play basketball. Washington, a little bit different. And Drew Carter said in the fourth quarter, yes, the Wizards are trying to lose. Yes, they're trying to get the number 1 overall pick for June. But when you watch them play, it doesn't look like they're a team. They get after it. That's a credit not only to the players, but to the coaching staff as well. But just a lopsided, varsity versus JV, 34-point win. And the varsity Sunday night did not have 2 of their top players. One of the top players in the NBA and one of the best bigs in the NBA when he's healthy, and Kristaps Porzingis. So Joe Mazzulla, for me, as I was thinking about this game, and again, we talk about Washington playing hard for themselves, individually and collectively, and also for their coaching staff. Now, there have been some games where the bench has been outplayed, really performed, or outproduced. But everyone in this game on Sunday night, well, we got no Tatum, we got no KP. Didn't matter. Your number was called, you were ready to go. Celtics bench outscoring Washington's bench 53-8. Brian Scalabrine gave me that one to use late in the broadcast, final minute. And the bench was there. Payton Pritchard ends up as your leading scorer with 20 points. Pritchard was 8 of 18, knocked down 4 threes, had his 20 points, but also had 7 assists and 6 rebounds. Sam Hauser, 7 of 12 overall, 4 for 7 on the three-point line. Hauser hitting on shots inside the three-point line. And I'd like to see that in the playoffs as well, as they try to get out and guard him, run him off the three-point line. Put the ball on the floor, couple of dribbles, try to get that separation, elevate, knock down a jumper. If he can do that in the NBA playoffs, him putting on the ball on the floor is probably not at the top when it comes to Sam Hauser in the scouting report. But if he can show that ability, knock down a couple of shots inside the three-point line, I think that plays well for the Boston Celtics. But Hauser, also 18 points off the bench. He had 8 rebounds, including 2 on the offensive end. Brian Scalabrine throughout talking about Luke Kornet. Kornet, 6 of 9 overall from the field. And how about this? 13 points, 14 rebounds, 3 assists, 9 of his rebounds on the offensive end. The Celtics, again, effort, talent, all of it included, 25-11 on the offensive end when it came to rebounding. The Celtics had 62 rebounds, 30 more. And I know I'm getting into a lot of numbers tonight here. We usually save that for the second segment, and we'll do that. Let's get to your comments. Let's get right into it. PK Tattoos first up, then we're going to hear from the real Darrell. 2 of our everydayers, and I tip my cap right now to you, PK Tattoos, and you, the real Darrell. You have been with us from the jump back in October. Much appreciated. We've got 4 more to go, and the smile's coming on my face because over 82 games, we've only missed a handful. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun doing this after the playoff games. PK Tattoos, the real Darrell, I'm not going to forget that you have been with us throughout the course of this season, and I do appreciate it very much. You guys have been terrific in terms of your contributions. Less of me, now more of you, a lot more. PK Tattoos, what a fun game. Kornet keeps getting better and having fun doing it. Yeah, I'm interested in seeing the lineups against the Knicks and Magic in the back-to-back. Yeah, it drives me nuts and I said this a while ago, this is going to be, I believe, the 8th back-to-back of the season for the Celtics. How many times? It's been very few and far between. We do this again next year, I'm going to track it. But how many times have the Celtics played a team on their second game of a back-to-back? They have been few and far between. I never went back to look at it. If I had, I used to have access to the ESPN stats and info when I worked in Bristol, Connecticut. That was one thing. That really hurt. That really hurt when that got cut off. Yeah, I think you're going to see a little rest. Jaylen Brown's got to hit, and Abby Chin touched on it with one of her sideline reports during the game. He's got to hit a couple of numbers here. And he can't just go on the court for the first 30 seconds Tuesday or Wednesday against New York or Orlando, and that counts as a game played. He's got to play. He's got to play some minutes. And they mentioned the number 20, and I think he's sort of got to play in that 20-minute stretch of a game to be eligible for all the postseason stuff. The Knicks and Magic, I could see them again. Somebody getting a rest. Now, Al Horford over the course of the season has usually missed missed one of the two. So do you sit Horford against the Knicks, put Porzingis in there against the Knicks on Tuesday, then Horford? I'm interested too, PK Tattoos, but as I think about this right now, if I tell you you're splitting New York and Orlando Tuesday, Wednesday, which one is more important to you for a victory? Which one's more important? Maybe that's not the way to put it. Maybe it's a pride thing. Do you want to sweep the Knicks, or do you want to win the season series against Orlando? And you need a victory against Orlando to do that, I believe. That's how it's set up, because the Magic do have a victory on the season against the Celtics. The real Darrell. We have to be honest. The Wizards did not come into Boston with the objective to win. Yes, but that's what made the game fun, because this was not a game that was close, really, in the second half, and really you could say the second quarter. But it was fun watching the Celtics play connected basketball. They defended enough, but Washington also missed an awful lot of shots. I don't disagree with that at all, PK Tattoos. Hammer, what do you want to see in the first round? I don't care. What do I want to see in the first round? I want the Celtics win the first round series. I want it over in 4 or 5. That's what I want from a first round series. Rain. Everyone's scoring today. This is how you will win games. Yeah, it is. And Kada, emphatic dunk late in the game. Great to see. I mean, Kada, there was a point in the season where you're thinking Kada and Jordan Walsh are going to elevate. Well, Kada's behind Porzingis. Kada's behind Horford. Kada's behind Luke Kornet. And Kada got opportunities, and it certainly could be a player for the future, as you're going to have to make some decisions when it comes to the salary cap. But Kada next year, if you're without Kornet, if you're without Horford, he's going to have to be up front. He's going to have to be a guy who really elevates his game in terms of consistency. The real Darrell. Cavs are going to lose to Sacramento again. Good. It's been interesting. I think I was steadfast a few weeks ago to say I don't care about the number 1 seed. They got close, and it would have been closer, 1 and 2 in the Eastern Conference, had the Cavaliers not gotten off to that tremendous start. Remember, it was the Celtics who ended that long win streak to open up the season. They just dumped out to a huge lead early in the season. The Celtics were playing with them right there for quite a while. But they were terrific in the first half. They've had a couple of bumps in the road. But the Cavaliers, health-wise, they're ready to go for the playoffs just like the Celtics. But right now, I've been saying it for weeks now, Game 7, that's what it's going to come down to, Eastern Conference Finals. I really do believe that. And if Cleveland has it, Celtics are going to go into Cleveland with the best road record in franchise history. Hammer, Orlando, because they're annoying. They are. But Hammer, on the other side, you've got the Knicks. And Drew Carter alluded to it. The Celtics have just hammered. It happened on opening night back in October at TD Garden when they raised the 18th banner to the rafters, and they just beat the heck out of them on that night. I'd like to see 4-0. Hey, you got the Knicks up first, so win that one, right? Win that one. PK Tattoos. I think Tatum will want to play the Knicks. Yeah, I could see. Good luck. I'd love to hear that conversation, trying to keep Tatum out of a second straight game. So again, there's, what's it going to be like against Charlotte next weekend? Right? Split 2 here. You're split 2, then you go in, 60 wins right there is on the table. If you end up with 60 or 61, you're just I think 64 was the number last year. If you get 61 wins, win 3 out of the final 4, that's expecting a split New York, Orlando, as we've been touching on. And then you get into the final 2 games against Charlotte. And Charlotte, they're just going to be running up and down the floor. More thoughts on JB coming up in the second segment. Ran a little long here. Great comments. Keep them coming. Locked On Celtics postcast plus numbers of the night coming up in our second segment as well. As always, we appreciate you being on board with us. Locked On Celtics postcast, Locked On Sports Boston, your team every day, presented by Monarch Money. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all the money go? Yes, I have. Between dining out, do that a lot. Online shopping, do that a lot. And entertainment, do that on occasion. Hey, easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money is not just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all of your accounts, investments, and spending in one place, so you stop just managing your money and you can start building on wealth. When you start using Monarch Money, you will realize just how much you are spending on food delivery. And with that, you can budget smarter and save more. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch to check your finances, track spending, and even plan long-term goals. Managing money with your partner is smoother than ever. You can track shared and personal accounts, set goals, and stay on the same page without the stress. Take control of your finances. Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off on your first year. Again, use code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% on your first year. monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONNBA for half off on your first year. Locked On Celtics postcast also presented by FanDuel. The NBA playoffs almost here. FanDuel is giving new customers an incredible way to get in on all the action. Right now, when you join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, you are going to get $250 in bonus bets if your bet wins. FanDuel makes betting so easy, so whether you're picking your favorite teams or diving into those player props, from three-pointers to steals to assists, FanDuel has so many ways to bet your favorite player props. Plus, after the game tips off, you can even combine live prop bets into a same-game parlay for the chance to win big. Don't miss out. Head to FanDuel.com. Claim your $250 in bonus bets today. Celtics, again, 2 games away from 60 wins, 2 wins away from winning 60 on the season. 2 more victories to get to 60. It would be their 15th time in franchise history and the second straight, winning 64 last year in the regular season, en route to an 18th NBA title, most ever for an NBA team. Celtics, again, 58-20 on the season, 3-0 against the Wizards on the year, winning 8 in a row against the Washington Wizards. 4-0, pardon me, against the Washington Wizards. They had that added in game there because they did not make the in-season tournament. But the Celtics now will go on the road for the next 2, where they've won 8 in a row and 16 of their last 17. I'd like to see, let's say this, I want to see them win, beat the Knicks and then go for the gravy against Orlando on Wednesday. But if they beat the Knicks in New York, you go perfect on the season against the Knicks in the regular season, and you've also won a 9th straight road game as well. That part of numbers of the night. Back to your comments right now. Here we go. The real Darrell. I'm playing Pritchard, Hauser, Kornet, maybe Baylor off the bench in the playoffs. Everyone else on the ranch gets minutes in a blowout. That's 3 deep on the bench. Where's Horford? The real Darrell. Where's Horford? Because I think you've got to put him in there too. So if you're saying maybe Baylor, on any given night, do you need help in the backcourt or do you need help up front? Horford and Kornet behind Porzingis, and it's assuming right there as I pose that to you, it's assuming that Porzingis is healthy. Porzingis might need a game here or there. But Horford, man, he's had a heck of a season. Starting role, reserve, doesn't matter. Put the ball inside the three-point line at least once on Sunday night against Washington, and I thought go all the way to the rim and get a dunk. I just love Al Horford. There was a time, I'm not sure if it was what the promotion was with the game on Sunday night, but with the NBA League Pass, I don't get the commercial breaks. Usually you get the in-house feed and you're watching what's going on during timeouts. And Al Horford was up on the video board and the conversation was in Spanish. And to me, that is outstanding. I love that. Al Horford, bilingual, we know that, and speaking in Spanish in the conversation. I just absolutely love that. I'm sure they had subtitles up there. I caught a little bit of it, not a lot, but understood what was going on. He was being recognized. That was terrific. Hammer, I almost assume Porzingis will get hurt, and Al will be a key. Horford is for sure getting minutes from the real Darrell following up off the bench after Al. That's my rotation from the bench. Pritchard, yes. I mean, it's Horford and Pritchard, right? And then I think as we talk about this a little bit, again, with Joe Mazzulla, it's going to be feel for the game. It's going to be understanding who's ready to go. And he might give a little extra, nudge to say, hey, this is one of those games, Luke Kornet, we're going to need you. And more in the front court than the back court, games are going to be called differently in the NBA playoffs. We know that. Porzingis doesn't usually get into foul trouble, but foul trouble could, in a game. But you have, again, the great ability. Brian Scalabrine was saying it late in the game, again, with the Knicks on Tuesday. And Drew Carter sort of posed, what are the Knicks in the playoffs? The Celtics can play the two bigs up front in any combination, right? And have great success. The Knicks cannot put Mitchell Robinson and Karl Anthony Towns on the floor together. It's almost, I don't want to say almost impossible, but it really is, realistically. One more, PK Tattoos. Al will definitely, okay, there we go. Al will definitely be a key in some games. And our double big lineup will make the difference in the playoffs. Yeah, it really can. It really can. And I'm steadfast right now to say this. Torrey Craig is going to have a positive impact. He flies after the ball on defense. He really does. And I mean, they rewarded him. Him and Kornet had kind of a double block, went the other way. Derrick White found Torrey Craig and knocked down a three. I really thought Torrey Craig was just another three-point shooter. That's not the case. Remember, he started a game a while back. He starts up front. I think he was the number 5 in that one game where he started. So I just think Torrey Craig, again, he gets minutes. They're up by 20. They're down by 20 late in the fourth quarter. But there might be a moment. I mean, he's a guy who can be called upon. And I do think if he's called upon in a stretch in a playoff game, he's going to come off the floor having had a positive effect. What's next? We've been talking about it. 4 left. 2-2 to get to 60 wins on the regular season. I think it could be better than that. Couple more numbers of the night. Celtics closing in on the number. They're going to do it against the Knicks, knocking down 24 three-pointers, 6 away from 1,400. That is an amazing number. Celtics now 22-3 on the season, hitting 20 or more threes in a game. Pritchard knocked down a 3 to give him 100 with about a minute to go in the third quarter. So with that, the Celtics 100 or more through a 3 10 times through their first 78 games on the year. And again, the assist totals, they continue to add up the assists. 22-1 this season when collecting 30 or more assists, 40-5, I believe it is, when 25 or more assists. We're going to be on with you within minutes of the final buzzer from Madison Square Garden Tuesday night. Knicks looking for the season sweep against the New York Knicks. And then it's off to Orlando, a back-to-back in the final week of the regular season. I'm not the schedule maker, but that's just ridiculous. It really is. I don't know how they couldn't have made it 3 games in the final 7 days, but the Knicks will have 7 days left in the regular season starting on Monday, and they'll have 4 games. As always, we tip our cap to you. Again, appreciate everyone joining us for both the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel when we go live and also the support with the podcast as well. Locked On Celtics postcast presented by Monarch Money and FanDuel. Remember, Locked On Sports Boston, number 1 place to hang out immediately after every game. Locked On Sports, your team, your Boston teams, and your Boston Celtics every day.